Managing client projects using Google Sheets can be frustrating and inefficient. It often means juggling endless spreadsheets to share project details with a client. It lacks visual appeal and is not collaborative, and feedback on the data can be difficult to achieve. I'm going to show you how to bring all your client management into one sleek, user-friendly app. I'm Ruchika Abbi. I build robust and scalable solutions for businesses using Glide. Let's get started. In this tutorial, we'll build a client portal step by step, from setting up your data in Google Sheets to designing your app's interface. Here is a sample set of how most agencies manage their clients. You will have a database with your clients and your projects in it, and you may have a separate sheet for each client. This sheet will then be shared with the client. I will use the Google Sheet as a data source. I'm using client management sheet as a data source. What it does is it gets a basic app started for you. So you will have a set of screens based on the tabs that have been imported, and each tab becomes a table. So now I have clients and I have projects. I want to use Glide tables for the tasks. Glide tables give me the ability to add multiple data types like videos and audios and pictures, and I am now going to import data from Google Sheet into a Glide table. You can see that it's brought in all the data here. So now I have my Google Sheet as a data source in clients and projects, and Glide tables as the data source for tasks. Now, Glide is built around three main components: data, layout, and workflows. Data allows you to integrate with multiple sources, as you saw, Google Sheets or Airtable or Excel, SQL databases, or you could use Glide tables, which really offer you better speed. Let's go to layout. Glide has started you off with a basic set of screens based on the data they found in your Google Sheet. The layout defines the user interface. You can use views like list, cards, tables, and other ways to customize your screen and to present your data. And then we have workflows, which enable you to bring multiple things together in the backend, and we'll get to this later. So now we have these basics covered. Let's start building. Now let's set up user management. Since this is a client-focused app, each user should see only their data. Glide provides a default user table. For this app, we'll use the existing clients table as our user profile source. So for the user profile settings, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and connect the clients sheet as the user table. So I will set the correct names, and currently I'll just give something for image. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the access rights for this app. So I will say that I want only emails in the clients table to be able to access this app, and it is private, so that only people I have given authority to will be able to access this app. Now this client is set up to show data from the perspective of the logged in user. Since it's a client portal, I'm going to hide the clients tab. I don't want them to be able to see all the clients on this portal. I could either delete it, but I'm going to go ahead and hide it. I'll just give a visibility condition, which is never going to be true, let's say. So this is, it's going to be hidden now. Let's go to the project screen now. What I want to do is I want to set this up so that the logged in user can only view their data and no one else's. How do we go about doing that? Setting email as the row owner helps me restrict the data that is visible to the logged in user. So if you are viewing as David, you will only see data for David. Right now you can see all the data because it's highlighted. That means that's the data you will have visibility to. I've changed it to David, so David can only see this data. This is the same behavior that I want in projects. So what I will go ahead and do is I will add a column, which is the client email, and I am going to just copy the emails from here and set it in there. And now I will set the client email column as the row owner. So now when I change view as, the data that's visible to me changes. Let's look it up in layout. So there. The data is now changing based on my logged in user. Let's work on the project's layout a little bit. There are many components that you can use when you are building a layout. This is how you can access the components. And I want to get started with, let's say, a title component. I'm going to remove this, which is a list component. I'm going to remove this, use a title component, and I will set it up in a way where it shows this. Let's change the title to the project name, maybe the project type here, and the client ID, we leave it here for now. And I don't have an image for it, so let me show you how you can give different data types in Glide. Let's go back to the data. You can add an image here, going to image, and I am going to take an image. Okay, and I can go ahead and add images here. I can also have Glide generate some images in case I don't have images on my data. So let's give it anything is fine here, and I'm going to give it mesh. Let's see how this looks on the layout. So now I'm going to set up the image here, and I'm going to use the generated image as the thumbnail here, and the uploaded image as the header image there. So that was easy enough. I want to show the tasks here. Now with tasks, there are two things. I want to show only those tasks that are this project, and I want to show the tasks that should be accessible to this client. Ensure that the logged in user can only see their task. We already know what to do here. We are going to create a client email field and set that as the row owner field. Before we add the row owner, if I want to specify the list of tasks, I'm going to bring in a list component, and I am going to point it to tasks. So you can see that I'm able to see all the tasks. But now let's go ahead and set client email in task to be the row on, and there it shows only those tasks which are for this client. If I had multiple projects for the same client, how would I ensure that the tasks for just a project are visible within that? So for that, let's go ahead and add a project ID field, and I'm going to make that association between project ID in tasks with projects in project ID in project. Now for the same user, some of the tasks are for project 1, whereas some of them are for project 4. In the project screen, we want to show only those tasks that are associated with the project. For that, we will create that link between the projects and the tasks table. We are going to create a relation field. So this says that wherever you find in the tasks table ID the same as the project ID in the projects table, that's related to each other. And you can have multiple tasks for a project, so you set it up match multiple. Now you'll see in here that there are multiple tasks showing up, different tasks for each project. Let's go back to the layout screen. Now that we have that set up, the relation, all we have to do is go to source and say select the list which matches the project relation. You have only those tasks showing up now. Let's make this tasks list look a little bit more pretty. So I'm going to change it to a card, and I will set up images within each task. Now have images for each task, and I'm going to set them up in the layout. So the title changes to the task name, description, and want to set up the image here. Perfect. So this looks amazing. I can fix it up however I want. I think this was good. I can set it up in this way. So there's a lot I can do. The next thing I want to do is give an idea of how much progress have we achieved for this project. So let's go to data and set this up. To summarize the progress for a project, I essentially need to say how many were finished versus the actual total tasks for a project. So let's get the total tasks for each project. I have to create a roll-up field, and this will be total tasks. And what it does is it takes the fields within this relation, the association, and it just counts them. I can use any field since it's just a count, and I'm just going to set the details there. So you see how it's set up: 5 for project 1, 9 for project 2, and so on. Now I want to say how many of these tasks are finished or completed. So I go to the tasks table and I create a computed field to say if status is completed, then return 1, else return 0. Now this is what I will use and roll up and create a sum of to get the number of completed tasks. So completed tasks, roll up. I'm going to do project relations and completed over here, and I'm going to do a sum. So this is just going to add up all the tasks that are completed. So there you have 2 tasks completed and 5 in here. And let's set this up to show that as a progress bar. I'm going to pull this up to show here, and the progress bar will be value is completed tasks and the maximum value is total tasks. Perfect. I'm going to add there. So there's just a quick look into it. Let's enable the client to be able to give feedback on each task. So let's go to one of the pending tasks. I have already set up the layout a little bit here. Let's try and add to the layout. Now in here I want to see what the priority for this task is and what the end date for it is. I could either set up something like fields and specify end date and set it here. Or let's say you're not really sure, or whatever you do, whatever Glide has for you over here is not working out for you visually. Glide has this amazing custom component. All I have to do is specify what kind of a layout I want, and it'll give me that layout. It'll set everything up for me. So I'm going to set that. Here I've shown a very simplistic prompt here to get end date and priority to be shown. Let's modify that a little bit. Update end date to have the format. Perfect. And awesome. So there we have this amazing AI custom component that will help you visualize it in a way which you may not be able to do by just looking through the components that Glide has available. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and add comments onto this so that the client can give feedback for any. So I'll go ahead, select the comments component, and this is how it'll show up. But I need to point it to the right table. I'll need to create a table for it. And we're going to keep it simple in terms of what fields are there in the comment table. We'll just keep it text, timestamp, and the name, or maybe the client email ID. So let's go there. I've created the comments table with these fields. Now we'll go back to layout and set this up, comments, and we are going to say text, timestamp, image, and author name is client email. Now we need to specify how to add data to this comments table. Glide offers some system values, so we can select one of those, which is the current date and time. The client email will be based on the logged in user profile. Again, this is a value that Glide provides, the profile, user profile value. That's it. I will go ahead and save the data in this manner. I'll just leave this to what it is, and let's try it out now. Perfect. So this has the comments showing up, and you'll see that the comments have been saved in the background. Now I want to make sure that each comment is associated to its own task. I will go ahead and add the task ID. Let's go back to the layout and set this up, task ID to be the, so again, Glide will give you the screen values. These are called as the screen values. You go ahead and select it, and I will save this here. I will just add something here, and I've set the comment. Now let's go back and see the data. As you see, it's now related to this task. I hope this has helped. For the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can give client the ability to add tasks, and you can have an admin role too, so that admins and clients both are able to access this data and work and communicate with each other through this app itself.